I'm Jodi Livon, as you know. I'm an intuitive coach. I'm the happy medium. I'm an author, and I am the resident psychic on a fabulous television show airing in the Midwest called Twin Cities Live. I go on the radio nationally and internationally, and I talk about intuition and how everybody is intuitive. And it's my go-to, and I love to help people learn to read themselves so it can be their go-to as well, so they can use this free and natural resource and really enjoy it. So today I'm here to talk about new beginnings, new starts, fresh starts. And I was thinking about, there's so many things I wanted to say about it, and so I just sat quietly and I meditated. And then what came to me is really funny is, do you remember well, she's still here, actor Melanie Griffith? I think that's how you say her name. And she's done a lot of different films, but the one I remember the most is Working Girl. And there was a scene in this film, and it's from quite some time ago, where she's in the elevator and she's being accused of stealing somebody else's creative venture, and she did not. And so the person somebody was trying to help them figure out whose idea this thing was, and they said, well, what inspired you? And the woman that stole it had nothing. And Melanie, in her, I think, what was her name? I'm trying to remember. Tess McGill. She said what inspired her was a magazine article. And I started thinking back to what inspired me to write my books and what inspires me to write the one I'm writing right now, or do something like this, or create a great meal, or a project for work. And you think about what inspires you. It's something that fires you up inside. And then you have to agree. And that's like intuition. You have to agree. You get a feeling, you need to agree to go with it. So a new beginning, to be inspired for a new beginning, you have to agree. And I was just on Twin Cities Live talking about very similar something about, it's not just a new beginning for a whole era, it's a new beginning every single day. And so every single day when you wake up, you have to agree to be inspired, to start again, to start anew. And one of the ways that you can do that is, before you even open your eyes, have something very positive that you say to yourself. Just something something sweet about you. It can even be, I'm a loved child of the universe, and the universe has my back. Anything that's positive. It can be a quote from the Bible, if that's what you want, or the Torah, or whatever you want. A quote from your favorite poet, right? Or even the amazing poet, is her name Amanda? Shake your head. Yes, the woman. Oh my God, anything she said. This last week, as Biden was sworn in, as they all were sworn in. So you say something positive to yourself, and you open up your eyes and you let that feeling just sink in, and you agree to be happy. So the thing about happiness is, it doesn't mean you ignore your feelings. It doesn't mean that if something's making you sad, and we all know there's a lot going on right now that can make you sad, but it doesn't mean that you ignore that. You acknowledge it. You acknowledge your feelings. Everything needs to be acknowledged, right? In that way. And then you agree to find a happier thought, the happiest thought you can that you buy into, and you sit in that. And you agree all day to have a happy thought. This is how you start again. This is how you make every day new and every moment new, is by not carrying around the garbage or the pain from before. Just go forward. So the coolest thing happens when you do this. It literally changes your chemistry. It changes your vibration, which I believe changes your chemistry. So when your vibration is changed and it's raised, raised spirit, higher spirit, you're more intuitive. So a lot of people talk about how to be more intuitive, and I'm one of them. Really, it's by being happy, which is super funny because that's the most important thing anyway. We're here to be happy. We're here to have joy. We're here to learn because that's what we want to do. We are here to enjoy. So we work through our stuff. We don't drag around our old stuff. We let it go and we choose to be happy. This is how you can start again every single day. So let's do a little, I don't want to call them an exercise because then you think you have to put on different clothing and get equipment, but a technique. I'm going to do a little technique. So if you could, please sit with your back straight and your legs uncrossed. And your arms uncrossed. So straight back means, you're not forcing it. It just opens you up, intuitively speaking. Gently close your eyes and listen to the sound of your breath as you slowly inhale and exhale 3 times through your nose. Eyes still closed. Raise your hands gently in the air and stretch one arm out, then the other arm out. Do that a couple different times so you get a really nice stretch, gently. And then lay your hands palms up on your thighs. Now listen to the sound of your breath and keep your eyes closed. Wiggle your eyebrows, like squish them together and then relax them. Soften your forehead. Pucker and unpucker your lips, literally, like a suckerfish. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders, because shoulders are not earrings. Now, draw circles slowly with your nose, starting first to the right 3 times slowly, and then to the left 3 times slowly. All the while listening to the sound of your breath as you slowly inhale and exhale through your nose. On the next inhale as deeply as you can and hold it there for the count of 6 if you're able to. And then release all the air from your lungs as much as you can. And then just start inhaling and exhaling slowly, regular breaths through your nose. Eyes closed, shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. Feel the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe and relax into the flow as it moves in and through you, all this beautiful, clean, clear air. Now say your full name to yourself, say it out loud or to yourself, and feel your body as you say your full name. First, middle, last. Now see your name behind your lids. See your name printed out and then read it. Now wiggle your toes for 30 seconds and then move your feet back and forth. Now inhale and exhale slowly through your nose. Listen to yourself breathe. And imagine a sparkling white light moving simultaneously up from the core of the earth and down from the heavens, touching and joining as they move through you. You are now divinely kissed. Everything you see is filled with light. Know that every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. Agree to find the happiest things you can see. When you open your eyes, fill your mind with thoughts that bring you joy. And again, agree that for the rest of the day, happiness is going to be what you aim for. And you can open your eyes. So I know that every single person listening here and watching has been through their own stuff emotionally, because we all have, right? And some seems far more difficult than others. There are times in our life where we go through things that are harder than others. And there are times where it's a little bit easier. I am a person who's very open about saying I've been through my own stuff. And so I don't say this lightly when I say happiness isn't just an emotion, it actually is a choice. So that doesn't mean that you have to be happy about a tragedy. It means that you are happy you're alive and that you find things that are joyful, either in nature, in your relationships, with an animal. And you continue to feel that way, and you continue to make that choice. As I said, your vibration changes and you are more insightful. And you start to notice things that you didn't before. So it's so funny because, of course, your people are trying to talk to me, your people on the other side. Know that, especially in the morning, but really all throughout your day, what goes through your mind sets the stage for your day and for your life. Your mind is yours. And when you get a random thought, let's say it's a negative thought, that can just go away. And you can replace it with something kind, such as I am a loving soul, anything simple and kind. And you keep bringing yourself back to that. And you take control of what goes on in your mind. Your day will be so much better and your life will be so much better. So I'm not telling you that you'll be an instant millionaire, but what I am telling you is that you might feel like one, because you connect with that higher knowing soul self of yours and things always look brighter. Besides, I know and work with a lot of multimillionaires, and that's not what makes anybody happy. It is that connection that you can feel with your higher soul self and with other people that really brings a true joy. And money and things are wonderful. Nothing to shake your head no at. It's wonderful. Why not enjoy? But the goal is to connect with yourself. And especially right now at the beginning of the year and at the beginning of a new helm, keeping your mind fresh. When something old comes in your mind that just is like chewed on and doesn't work for you, just let it go. Just agree that you're just going to aim for happiness. Try it. It really works. So you keep your thoughts light and it lifts your spirits, literally lifts your spirits. So I always say, allow the thoughts you think to lift your words. Wait, let me see if I got this right. Let's see if I can even read it. Allow the words you speak and the thoughts you think to lift your mood, right? So I love affirmations, and I know I've talked about this before. So I read them at night before I go to sleep, and I read them first thing in the morning, or I just say one on hand, even before I open my eyes, like I talked about. Today, I salute every splash of goodness that comes my way. Today, I am thankful and grateful, and it shows. I believe in the power of self-acceptance. I am confident, strong, brave, and beautiful. And one of my favorites, I am love and light in action. I feel the light. I see the light. I am the light. Try saying that and having your vibration flatline. I don't think it's horribly a leap to say, I don't think it's possible for you to flatline when you say these nice things. Now, if you're making fun of them in your head, find something to say that you won't. Anything that's more positive than where you're at. So also during the day, choose a word or a thing that you're going to focus on, something to appreciate. That's my favorite. Or something that you like, or something that you love, or something that irritates you a little bit less than other things. And focus on it. I like to do it like at the top of every hour, now that a lot of us are home and not working outside of the house. Or when you are outside of the house, when you get into your car, look in the rearview mirror and say something nice to yourself. And then focus on something lovely. Have it in your day as you transition from one room to the next. So you're constantly filling your mind with things that feel good to think. And again, this is how you lift your vibration, which makes you more available to your intuition. So one of the most profound and beautiful things that you can do in your life is actually to feel self-acceptance and to like yourself. It's one of the most beautiful things you can do. So all of this is aimed at you loving you and liking you. And when you agree that that's also your aim, You may feel funny about it because nobody's teaching us as kids that we're supposed to do that, but we are. So accept yourself, fill yourself with self-acceptance. Aim for something lovely every day, like appreciation, love, something you like, and know that self-acceptance and self-love is a good thing. To be yourself. Be yourself. It's a huge thing to do. And as you move through your day, when you're doing this, and you might even feel it right now, you'll start seeing signs from the universe, from your guides, from your angels. Animals will bring you signs. You will turn on music instantly that will, you didn't even know that that song would be on, and it's something that lifts your spirits, or it's a message from someone that you love saying, hey, it's the anniversary of the day I died, thinking of you, because you know you're thinking of them. Numbers coming up on the clock, numbers that you're adding for your work, numbers in the license plate in front of you, those can be a sign. Symbols come in all different ways. As I was getting ready this morning, I saw an eagle, and that is always a good sign. Not when it's making its way for one of my small animals, but it wasn't. So it was a good sign. And other people could ignore that and say it's nothing, but I see it as a sign and it makes me feel good. So if it makes you feel good, it lifts your spirits. So when you are in that space of heightened consciousness, you start to understand the language of your intuition, which helps you understand those signs. When you get that feeling, that tingly feeling like butterflies dancing in your tummy, right above your belly button, your solar plexus, that's a sign, it's a yes. And when that heaviness comes in that same area, oh, sorry, you guys, I don't even know how to get rid of this. That would be my husband calling. He's out of town. Now he's gonna be on YouTube. Okay, he might try it again. Sorry. All right, where was I? Oh, signs. There's a sign. My husband's thinking about me. Makes me feel good. I could be embarrassed, but I'm not, because I think it's funny. So when you twist things around and make them feel good, it's another way of heightening your intuition. And the language of your intuition speaks through your body. So as you agree to start anew, then you start paying attention to feeling good, and that little signals inside of your body start to be louder and louder and louder, like not just the butterflies, but let's say you're a person who, when right before something happens, you can actually feel your heartbeat. That's a sign. Or some people hear a ringing in their ears, and it's not from a condition, it's actually their intuition. I get an itching in my nose when spirits are around that want my attention that I'm ignoring. So everybody's got different things. I have clients that literally feel a tug on their ear. I've known mediums that start to shake when a spirit is nearby because their energy is trying to merge with theirs. There's lots of different ways. And there's ways to know that when your boundaries, which of course is one of my favorite subjects, it's knowing where your space begins and where it ends, knowing how to say no, knowing when to say yes, knowing it's okay to be yourself and not take on other people's stuff as an incoming spirit comes in. When, seriously, somebody's grandfather with a cane is hitting me because I started to open up. As I was talking about boundaries, when your boundaries are firm, you're more insightful. Now, if you're a medium and your boundaries are firm, but you start to open up, you start to get signals. And everybody's mediumistic. When you start to open up intuitively, when you're more aware of those signals, the language of your intuition, and your boundaries are good. So I could feel when spirit energy was coming in because I knew it wasn't mine. I'm more joyful because I'm not taking on someone else's stuff when I can do that. I know that that's another spirit. So if you walk into, I know I might be going to a different subject. When you walk into a room or you get on a Zoom call and all of a sudden you start to feel differently than you did before, your boundaries, that's your boundaries. That's your intuition saying something's different. You might be taking on somebody else's vibration, their stuff. When somebody tells you that you've hurt them and you've upset them and their whole day has been really lousy because of you, of course you want to know what it is you might have done so you can hold responsibility and work through that and apologize. But what if it's them? Taking things personally that wasn't meant personally, you still of course want to say, I'm sorry, you're so hurt, but that's their stuff. And your boundaries will tell you that's their stuff. I can feel sorry that they feel bad, I do, but That's their stuff. And then you can resolve it better. And you can start afresh with that person in that relationship too, because their stuff is theirs. I always say what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. So choose to feel good. Choose to be aware of the signals in your body that help you with your insights and your intuition. And choose to aim for something positive every single day, every single hour, all of the time. So that, think of it as a room, the back of your mind is clean and clear. Instead of feeling dark and negative, you're feeling clean and clear. You have to make that decision. And it is as simple as that. And you don't have to tell anybody you're doing it, so you don't have to feel like if you have a down moment, you failed, because you haven't. You've noticed. And so you make it better. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing to help your spirit rise. And isn't that why you tune into these amazing meetings? To help your spirit rise, to help you feel better, to help you be more connected to that higher knowing part of you, your higher soul self. So you can walk around feeling high without any substance. It's really fun. When I was a kid, people used to think I was doing drugs all the time, and I really wasn't. Like, I'm talking 10, because I always was giggling and having fun, or I often was. And I realized much later in my life that that was my way of connecting with my higher soul self as well, or it connected me. So if I got stuck on a problem in school, which I did, my intuition would help me. So I realized that at 10, and I think I realized it well before that, but I realize now when I see people being silly or being happy, that they're often more insightful at that moment as well. So it's a bonus, right? All right, I would like to take questions if people have questions about this, their intuition, what have you, on the subject of intuition and insight and starting a new day.
I'm allowing people to unmute themselves. Just make sure they stay conscious that their mics are open when they unmute themselves. So.
Ooh, does nobody have a question?
I do.
Oh, good.
Well, this is really personal. I was mugged and beaten 3 days ago. And I'm on like a really spiritual journey of self-love and guidance lately. And I just am wondering, do you have any insight as to why I might have chosen this for myself?
So first of all, I want to say to you, everybody here is dosing you with white energy, love, and everyone, I can feel it. I'm getting the chills. I'm really sorry that happened for you, sweetie, and you didn't choose it. I don't believe it happens quite like that. I believe there might have been a hole in your self-protection at the moment that somebody else could feel and so was magnetized your way, but it's not your fault at all. So please let that go. It's my argument with the way people see the law of attraction. I don't believe that it's your fault. I believe, like I said, there might have been a window cracked in your car. You know what I mean? Like rain can come in through a cracked window. You didn't mean for that window to be down. You might have touched a button. Yes, you're responsible for touching the button, but that's not where you were going with it. So that you were where you were, unfortunately, put you in that position. You're not a victim. You're here. So awful that they did that, and the universe will deal with them. I can tell you that for sure. And you're alive, and you're beautiful, and you're healing, and this wasn't your fault. And I also feel like when things like this happen, it reminds us to tighten up our boundaries. And when I say that, I mean like, this is my body. These are my things. And so again, if you had been in that space, I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened. It just gives you another reason to say, hey, I'm going to be vibrating with so much self-love that I'm going to feel untouchable in that way from anything negative. So I can't say to you, oh, it happened to you because you did this or that, because that's not how I'm feeling. I do feel from you and from many people that I read that we forget that we're supposed to love ourselves. So you could have connected with me 2 weeks ago, I would have said the same thing. So this isn't in reference to the mugging. This is in reference in general. We forget to pour love into ourselves because we're taught that that's selfish when we were younger because our parents didn't know differently. But we deserve all the love we can give to ourselves. And we deserve all the love of the universe because we are loved children of the universe. And I feel like if you make that your mantra, some of the spikes that you've put on yourself because you thought it was your fault will go away. Imagine for a second, if you close your eyes for just a second. So try this, just close your eyes for a second. Everybody do this. And listen to yourself breathe, just in and out through your nose. And imagine on the next inhale that you're aware of the little spikes emotionally that you have on yourself. And as you exhale, all of them fly off. So as you inhale, you recognize them. And as you exhale, they just fly right off of you. You can open your eyes. That's a really good thing to do throughout the day, especially when you're feeling like you're taking on stuff that is too much for you and that isn't yours. We all deserve to be loved. Stuff happens to us. Some of it's little, some of it's big, like what you've experienced. Now you're just moving on. You're moving on, and you know the universe will deal with them in the universe's amazing way. You know, one thing I can say is that your intuition's always available to you. Your intuition can signal you to move in a different direction, but it can't change things for you per se. You can with what you do with your intuition. I've seen situations where when you ignite your angelic energy, that's another level of getting help from your divine spiritual team. So at this moment, I would like to help you ignite the angels around you just by thinking about them and just by welcoming their presence. Because you're just going to go from here and you're going to be lit up. So you already are lighter, especially on what looks like maybe your left side, but the right side. Your energy is lightening. Can you feel that?
No.
I can see it. The other thing about it is you have to be willing to feel the changes in you, the positive changes in you. And when you start to feel them, just even a teeny, teeny, teeny bit, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm sending so much love to you. And I know everyone else is. Thank you for being willing to come forward and to talk and to ask. And I can feel your sparkles. Feel your sparkles. Feel your sparkles. Thank you.
You know, I can feel something. Thank you.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad. Awesome. Somebody else have a question or want to ask a question about energy in general?
I do. I have a question over how can you tell the difference between somebody's energy coming into your space versus your energy? Is there an exercise you can do to help you determine when you're taking on somebody else's energy, and also the idea of if you're feeling a spirit coming close? What's a good exercise to?
So one of the things that's really powerful is to do it. Someone knows a certain itches. We're talking about spirits, of course. You have to know what your space feels like. So you have to know how you feel. So a lot of us try to ignore things that bother us that come through our minds all the time, and we're not working on it. If some situation that we've been in our life is coming up or a feeling, we need to get it resolved. We need to look at it and get it resolved. Otherwise, we're just carrying it around with us. So if we're willing to feel our feelings and acknowledge our feelings and just move through them, we are more open to our intuitive insights. And here's how I learned this. I learned that when all of a sudden I felt completely different because I knew how I felt, I knew there was spirit energy nearby. And that's for me as a medium. You also could feel that, spirit energy, or you can feel someone else's mood. And you're actually in their space. When you're feeling somebody's stuff, you're in their space. You think that they're in yours, like they've wandered into your space, you've wandered into theirs. You're picking up on it. Your empathic abilities are picking up on someone else's mood, and what they feel is none of your business. None of your business. And what you think they think of you is none of your business. You just focus on how you feel. And so when you know how you feel, that is how you protect yourself. And that's how you know when spirit energy is encroaching, because it doesn't feel like you. It feels completely different from you. And then what you want to do is keep yourself filled with light. Literally, as you inhale, you bring in light from the core of the earth and have it come up through you, and light from the heavens coming down through you. Imagine that there's like a white light surrounding you, so powerful that nothing can get through it but love. That is the best way to have your boundaries as well. And that, when you do any intuitive work or any study in the metaphysical arts of any kind, it protects you from grabbing energy that is not your own, if that makes sense to you, which I think it does, I can tell. So the other thing I want to say to you about your feelings, so your feelings just come up. Your emotions are the story you tell yourself about what your feelings mean. So you can tell yourself a different story. You can tell yourself that you're hungry and that you want to go get something to eat, or you can tell yourself that there's tons of food in the kitchen and you are enjoying the moment, you're just going to stay here. Those are feelings. Something can remind you of an event that you've been through when you were 13 years old, and it makes you, the feeling comes up, the emotion behind it is the story, and you don't like the story, you can tell yourself a different story about it. So that's also how you keep yourself neat and clean boundary-wise, is by being willing to feel your feelings and explore them and move through them and not have them own you, right? Does that help you?
Yeah.
You already do a lot of that. I can see that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Jodi, this is Ella.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I know this might be semantical and splitting hairs, but you just mentioned feelings and emotions as different.
Yes.
And I always thought they were the same. So can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, one of my favorite subjects. So, and I do talk about it in my second book, The Happy Medium, Speaking the Language of Intuition. I'm writing my third book and I'm including that too. Okay, so your feelings naturally come up. That's my dog, by the way, in the background. Your feelings naturally come up. They just do. It's a gift from the universe. Feelings are amazing. Love is a feeling. You feel, but you feel something good. Let's say it comes up, it is love. And the story you tell yourself about that feeling is, this feels good. I'm in love with so-and-so. So the story that you tell yourself really is your emotions. So the feeling naturally comes up, but the story you tell yourself about it is your emotional response. So let's say you are at Costco and somebody takes their empty cart and runs over your toe by accident. And it hurts. Doesn't mean it doesn't make you fall down, but it hurts. And you're ticked because why would an adult have such terrible boundaries? And you turn around and it's a little kid driving the cart. And they didn't mean to do that. And neither would an adult, of course. But the story you tell yourself is, it's just a kid. So you're forgiven, you forgive that moment and you keep moving on. So you don't hang on to it. So it's always the story. So when my husband called, and you guys can all hear the call, the story I could tell myself is, oh my God, he interrupted, he forgot what's happening. Or that's pretty funny, he's thinking about me, right? He wants to be part of this. So the feeling is, I'm hearing something, one of my senses. The story is the emotion behind it. Does that make sense?
I think so. I guess so. If I'm experiencing a happy feeling, there's a story I can tell myself about that. And if I'm experiencing a feeling that's not so good, then the emotion is the story I tell myself about that not so good feeling. Is that what you're saying?
The
Okay.
story is the emotion. Your emotional response is the story you're telling yourself about what the feeling means.
Okay.
So usually if somebody kicks you in the stomach, you're not real happy about it, right?
Right.
But what if you're pregnant and the baby is kicking you in the stomach? You're happy about it. Well, mostly until they're 9 pounds kicking you, but we'll just move on from there because it's all good. So it's the story you tell yourself behind it. And you can't tell yourself a fake story. You have to tell yourself a real story. So if something hurts, it hurts. If you say, well, I feel pain. Somebody just hurt me. I feel pain. Like somebody's punched me. That's a pain. That's whatever's happening for them. They did that. That hurts me. That's on them. I'm going to heal myself and move through it. Right? Or you could say to yourself, why did this happen to me? Something's wrong with me. And it's not. It's the story you tell yourself. And it takes so much energy. Think about the stories you tell yourself about your past. Think about the energy that it takes, sometimes away from you. Why not make it, a story that gives you energy? Why not? It works a lot better. And you don't have to think about every single feeling that comes up. But if you get stuck in it, then say to yourself, what's the story behind this feeling for me? That's a great question. Thank you for asking it.
I got a question about protection. I know some people believe in you should protect yourself every day, but it sounds like you more situational. How do you feel? Do you protect, like some people get up and put their white light around so they protect from everything. But I don't know. I've heard both ways. So I guess I'm curious how you feel about that.
So when I wake up in the morning and before I open my eyes, I think something nice, that's protection.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it ignites my light, and
Right.
nothing protects like love, which is your light. So I use that protection every single day. And when I leave my house, I ignite that protection. And when I'm in my car, I ignite that protection. And before I go into a meeting, I really ignite that protection.
Yeah.
So I can stay in my own space and not take on other people's stuff, because I'm a master at taking on other people's stuff, especially when my boundaries really are so bad. And when I was younger, I didn't know. So I learned to know how I feel, which is self-protection, to love myself, to put a light around myself, and to know that I've done this so much that if I'm taking a walk around the lake when it's not all icy here in Minnesota, otherwise it's a skate, and somebody's approaching and the energy that I feel from them is not positive, my light automatically goes up. And you know why it does? I've just told myself it will, and it does.
Oh, there you go.
So you can make
Okay.
it an automatic, but you got to be thinking about it. And self-love is a huge part of it, and self-acceptance and being yourself and loving other people. Isn't that the funniest thing? The best self-protection around is to love everyone.
Yeah.
But it seems like the strangest thing, but it's true. It's to love everyone. And when I was a kid, literally, if somebody was in the room, they would have seen it. Spirits would lift my hair and pull my hair. Lights would go off and on. Stuff would happen that would be so freaky. And it was when I said no, when I remembered how loved I am, that started to really slow down. And now, as I'm knocking wood, it doesn't really happen anymore unless my boundaries are skewed or somebody's trying to get a hold of me. And then my boundaries are so good, I'll say it's not office hours. Or I'll open to it if I need to help resolve something and it feels right to me, but it's my choice. So you get to feel your feelings. No one gets to throw something at you. Their feelings, and they're not really throwing it. They're just emanating it because they feel something so big. You don't have to take it on. That's theirs. And you can feel compassion for them. That's another huge way to self-protect. Feel compassion for people. You don't have to agree with them. Just feel compassion. Awesome question.
Thanks.
Can I ask a question? I feel like you've been answering it already, but just in case you have any other thoughts. I was going to say, I hear you saying, fill yourself with love and move on, keep moving on, every day choose happiness. I struggle with feeling like I may have made the wrong life choices. And I know that when I have that story, I'm not loving me. So is the answer to that to tell a different story, and that I can move on from wherever I am? It's not about what it could have been, but where I am now, and just choosing.
You know what would really help you is to know how wise your spirit is. Your spirit is so wise. All of our spirits are wise. And we are where we are because the life lesson that we're getting is what our spirit needed. So get off your own back about it and just say, this is what my spirit needed. Now I'm really aware that I'm going to move in a different direction, because now I know. If I would have known better before, really known, I would have made a different decision. I know I act on my best interests as best I can. Now I have more information. So now I might go in a different direction, and I'm not going to beat myself up for it. And I don't have to tell myself where I'm at is perfect. I can say, it's not perfect. I'm just going to make it better and better. And that's what I'm going to do. We get on our own back, that's like the worst thing. And who doesn't do that? Well, that's where you say to yourself, had I known better, I'd have done better. Now I keep moving forward. So fill yourself up. That's that self-acceptance, is to really understand, had I really understood this, I would have made a different decision. And now I do. It's empowering, isn't it? Right. It's totally empowering. And why not? So what happens in our mind really sets the stage for our life. So if we have a clear space in our mind of feeling neutral or really good, we're open for such amazing things. We draw it to us. It comes to us. We magnetize these amazing things our way when we have beautiful stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves, and when we aim for something good. When we say, happiness is my aim, and I'm going to fill myself up with appreciation, and I'm going to know at the top of every hour, I'm going to look for something to appreciate, and then I'm going to sink into it. And I'm going to get in the habit of doing this so much, my vibration's going to raise, and I'm going to keep drawing these amazing things my way. And again, I'm not saying this from the perspective of perfection, that I've always been like this, and I was born with beads around my wrists and crystal drops coming around me. I created this energy I have. I've done this for myself. And at this particular time in our history, I've had to work even harder to get there. But I've chosen to do that because it's so much more fun in my head if I'm not beaten up on myself, right? I hope that helps. I think it does. I can tell from your energy.
Thank you so much.
Isn't it an interesting thing to think that we have that much control? I mean, we can't control what goes on really around us, but we can control what goes on inside of us. And so in a dark moment, we can still say to ourselves, I'm feeling really dark, but I'm going to aim for the light. It's all right that I'm feeling dark. The story I'm telling myself is I've just experienced a loss, and I have. So I'm going to move through it, and I'm going to aim for the light. So there are moments where we feel so blue, if you will, that it's hard to bring that light in. So if you're in that spot ever, just say to yourself, it's okay. It's how I feel right now. It's not who I am. It's the story I'm telling myself from the circumstances. It's not who I am. It's what I'm going through. I know that there is a light, and I will feel it again. And I'm going to be open to it. And I'm going to feel every teeny, teeny little crystal drop of love and light that comes my way. And I'm going to make sure I'm feeling that love. So one of the things that helps a lot of people is to think about an animal that you love and literally connect with the energy of an animal that you love, or go out and be in nature. That clears your energy so beautifully that you can be sticky for the good instead of sticky for the icky. Makes sense, right? You know, I've been doing this all my life. I've been psychic. I knew that I was picking up on things all my life. I just didn't realize other people weren't doing it. And as I aged, I could start to see that, and that there were things I shouldn't talk about because it wasn't for polite company. Yeah, I wasn't always so polite. So, and then nobody would talk about being psychic. I mean, it was like a dirty word, right? And then I decided to come more out of the psychic closet, more and more and more and more and more. And then I started writing books about it. And then everybody is saying that they're a psychic, and they are, because everybody's psychic. But you want to be an experienced psychic. You want to be experienced at understanding your energy so you can read yourself. And you can read the signals that are given to you every single day, all day long, to help you make a maneuver through your life, make decisions, and navigate through your life. You always trust your gut, follow your heart, and use your head. So if your head says, yes, this is the right decision, and your heart says, yes, this is the right decision, and your gut says it, your intuition says it, go forward. Maybe it'll turn out to be not quite what you wanted, but everything said go, so there was something you were supposed to get from it. So I'm not a person that says, I feel like I can fly, and so I'm going to jump off this bridge. Because I know my head would say no, and I know my heart would say no. There are all these people you love that are here. You want to be here. You have to put them all together. So the reason I talk about other people doing this, and I think it's wonderful, but you want to stick with the things that feel grounding to you. You want to stick with the things that feel subtly good and not subtly good. You want to stick with things that make you feel whole. And then if you're studying this, you take it bit by bit, so then it continues to feel whole to you, because you are your best teacher. You really are. And I'm really glad that there are all these people coming out of the psychic closet and learning about their intuition, and that we're talking about life after life as being, it's more acceptable now, right? I mean, I go into meetings with, I always say, you know, men and women in suits, but now obviously probably they're wearing a suit from here up and underneath jammies, right? Everybody uses their intuition. It's amazing. We all maybe call it different things, but people in suits, people in business, parents, of course, teachers, absolutely. Physicians, absolutely. I've worked with a lot of them. They use their head and their experience, but they might go by a gut and save a life. So, and they save lives anyway, but the gut can help. So the reason I'm saying this is you are psychic, you are intuitive, and you'll become more so when you aim for the light, when you aim for things that feel good to think, when you keep your mind clear of that heavy stuff. And when you feel it, just say, okay, I'm feeling it. The story I'm telling myself is heavy and that's all right. And then let it go. And you keep aiming for feeling good, it changes you. I mean, you're happier and you draw great things to you and you're more insightful. I mean, seriously, what could be better? Is there another question? I can feel them floating, but I also feel them not being spoken. So let me tell you this. Let's say you guys are at the grocery store and you have your mask on. Remember that your mask protects you in some ways, right? Your energy can be protected by you going into that store lit up with your own light. And you get into the store and you do the things that you need to do and you get out. And if you find that you feel kind of heavy and gross, you just picked up on stuff that's not yours, do that pufferfish thing. You close your eyes, you listen to yourself breathe for about 30 seconds or a minute. And then on an inhale, you recognize that you're feeling differently than you did before you went in. It's kind of heavy. And on the exhale, all that energy that's not yours pops right off. And all those thoughts and all those things popped right off. And you're fresh and you're clean. It's a great thing to do. I do it actually every day. It's a great thing to do, just an energy clean. Because you are responsible for your own energy. That is very true. And a lot of that is thoughts you're thinking and the stories you're telling. So when you do things like that, you have lighter thoughts and you feel good and your day is better and you're more insightful and you're creating better for yourself. And you start anew every single day. And every time you walk into a room, you start anew with fresh energy. So when I say the best self-protection is to love everyone, I mean it. I mean, loving everyone is just beautiful in and of itself. You don't have to love everything they do, but they're spirits. They're all children of God, right? It protects you. It's such an interesting thing, the way the universe is, that the nicer we are to us and the more love we show and the more love we feel, the higher we get. And I'm not talking about high from a drink or a joint. It's even better. Any other questions, comments?
I have a quick question. It's a little off track, but I get ghosts kind of coming through my house. They're not permanently here, and you had spotted one here previously when we were on Zoom. Do you feel that there's anyone here now?
Well, I would have to open up to all of your energy. What I'm feeling is by your window, a little bit, and I don't know if that's a picture or what that is up over by your window, and I feel like it's residual. So I actually just feel grandfather energy around you. I don't feel intruder alert going on. So it's natural, like spirits just come and go. It's just part of this, but you want to keep your house clear and clean. And so, which you do. So when you feel that spirit energy, if it doesn't leave, then you can just ask it to leave, because you want your house is your energy too. You want it to be clear of that. Anything that doesn't belong there shouldn't be there. So I know if I pick up a hitchhiking spirit, if I'm out and about and I pick up a hitchhiking spirit, I acknowledge that energy is here. And then I literally start to fill myself up with so much light that it fills the room, and that spirit, especially if it's a darker energy, is gone, just gone. And if it's a lighter energy and I'm interested in hearing its story, I might hear its story. But I have to tell you, to be honest with you, I rarely, if ever, will do that. I'll check to see if it's a relative or a friend. And if it's not, it just doesn't belong at the moment. One of the things that happens to me a lot, though, is when I'm going to work, especially when I got to go to my office and I'm still doing readings and I'm doing them online, which I've done a lot, or I'm doing them on the phone. I've done that my whole life, adult life, now more. is I'd be driving to work and all of a sudden there'd be a spirit sitting in my car with me telling me a story. And at first I just thought it was my thought. And I'm like, okay, I'm just singing to music and some story comes on. And lo and behold, my first reading, it's their person. It's the experience that they had. And that's all right because I'm getting in work mode. But if I'm not in work mode, if I'm not going to work, no, thank you. That's just not it. I'm the one that's always saying, yeah, no, thanks. No, thanks. Not mine. No, thanks. Because the thing about it is when you read other people and spirits, your energy is being used. It drains you of your life energy, which we have so much of it. There's some to spare, but if it goes on a lot, it's really draining. That's why you'll meet a lot of people who are very empathic and mediumistic that don't even want to leave their house because they're picking up on stuff so much. We have to tighten our boundaries so we're not always picking up on stuff so we can go be out and about in the world. I mean, isn't that like the cornerstone of mental health, good health? Being able to be amongst the flocks, maybe not all of the time, but be amongst the flocks and have fun and see other people. And that's what's so interesting right now. It really is important that you see other people somehow, even if it's just taking a walk. It's important that you get the energy of other people coming to you and you give it out too. It's a wonderful exchange. People are, for the very most part, really good. And we all could use a little bit more light. And when your light meets my light, there's more light. Like, can you feel that in this exchange? Like everyone's light is here together and it's making a bigger light. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how it works. Again, I marvel at the universe. I marvel at it. But there are many times in my life where I haven't marveled at it, especially when I have felt upside down and picking up every emotion that's ever been and every spirit that ever was. And I feel nauseous. And I didn't know that that was because my boundaries were skewed. I wasn't doing my self-protection. And now I am. So things are better. And when I feel really blue, I'm not as good at my self-protection. And so I start more self-protection and I feel better and better and better. Because we are here to feel joy and to learn and to love each other and to forgive and to move on. And I mean, it's so much fun to learn, isn't it? It's fun to meet new people and hear new stories and read things and study and feel your consciousness raise, meaning things that used to bug you don't bug you anymore, or at least a little bit, and to feel you feel better and better and filled with more light. So if you do this, where you know that your mind is like a room and you want to keep it clear and clean. So when icky thoughts come through, let them go and replace them with really good ones. And aim for the light. Just make your thing to aim for the light. Aim for feeling good. Aim for feeling happy. You know, joy is also a byproduct of feeling happy, of choosing happy thoughts and aiming for something that feels good. So I would say about 35, 40 years ago, I might have even rolled my eyes at something like this, but I don't anymore because I know that it works. And you can reach a point in your life where you say, I'm just going to try it. And then you see how you feel. And you feel better and better and better. And it's like being grounded and high at the same time, like a people high, a love high. That's the best, right? So should we do our closing energy? Let's do that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the beautiful questions and the trust. So close your eyes and move your shoulders to the left and to the right a little bit, and then lift them up high and then let them drop. And as you inhale and exhale through your nose, imagine as you inhale this iridescent white light coming up from the core of the earth, making its way all the way through every cell in your body and filling it with light. And it moves up and it's healing and it goes up, 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 and it comes out the top of your head and then circles you in an egg-shaped glow. And know that your energy is enough. You have beautiful energy. And you want to say, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, and keep your energy flowing. And as you inhale, that beautiful energy comes up, and as you exhale, it comes out the top of your head and protects you. And know that throughout your day and throughout your week, that you are automatically protected and that you are a loved child of the universe, and that you are part of the light, and that you are love and light in action yourself. And feel the light and see the light and know that you are the light. Thank you very much.